Hello, this is Lauren Schoenberg, and it is Roy Eldridge's 112th birthday anniversary today. That is January 30th, 2023, and I want to go back to this date in 1986, and it was Roy Eldridge's 75th birthday. And Phil Schaap, who was so close with Roy for so many years, was doing one of his birthday broadcasts that Phil did forever, and they're still doing, on WKCR-FM to pay tribute to Roy. It was especially special because Roy would tune in and listen. And Phil gave me the task of recording birthday greetings from some of Roy's peers. So the only way I could do it was to call them, eventually reach them, and then have them call back and leave a message on my home answering machine, which we then played over the air. And so I thought I would share these with you. And you're about to hear from Max Roach, Art Blakey, Gus Johnson, who says he's the Weird Wolf. He doesn't even say his name. Roy Haynes, Artie Shaw, Ruth Warwick. And I should mention, Ruth Warwick was a great actress. She was in Citizen Kane, and she was featured on a soap opera that was one of Roy's absolute favorites. So it was easy to find her because she was Dick Sudhalter's ex-mother-in-law. So she left a message. Al Casey, Barney Kessel, John Collins, talk about guitars, Dan Morgenstern, who was so tight with Roy, as all these folks were, Gene Bach, and Norman Granz. So I'm going to play those for you in just a moment. Before we get there, if I may, I'm just going to share my own interaction with Roy Eldridge. First time I heard him in person was his band from Jimmy Ryan's was playing outdoors at Times Square as part of the jazz festival, and they did Let Me Off Uptown. And even though I wasn't that close to the bandstand, when Roy went into that solo, the famous solo, Let Me Off Uptown, it was like a bolt of lightning coming from the trumpet. I mean, sounds like hyperbole, but it really was. It's hard really to express in words what it felt like. In the late 80s, in the late 70s, I was blessed to have the opportunity to sit in with his band a few times and to get to feel what it felt like on the bandstand when he and Eddie Locke, for instance, would play the bridge to Caravan. They would suddenly go into a blasting four, and it was just incredible. I was so lucky, as were many of the other young musicians who had the chance to experience that firsthand. And even if you didn't get to meet Roy Eldridge, if you know his music, that's who he was. The excitement, the way he played ballads, the way he played the fast tunes, you could tell it was him when you were around him. Later on, he couldn't play the trumpet anymore. He could only sing because of a heart problem. And I got to back him up in a band at the Brooklyn Museum once, I remember. He started singing, and there was that bolt of lightning again. You could see it in the audience. He had the same passion. And sadly, his last time out of his house to perform in any way was he was a guest at Dan Morgenstern's son's bar mitzvah early in 1989. And I was in the band that played, and he came up and sang with us, and it was the same thing again. And there'd only be one Roy Eldridge. I was the smallest part of his life, but he's a huge part of my life and anyone else who got to know him and or play with him and just listen to him on record. He's an eternal inspiration for passion and art and originality. Now, enough talk. Let's hear his friends, his close old friends, wish him happy 75th birthday.
Hello, Roy. This is Max Roach, and I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. And it brings to my mind all some of the most wonderful times that I've ever had musically, being a listener and a spectator and someone who was a student of the music many years ago, of course, when you did all those wonderful recordings under your own name and with various bands. And also the time that I had the honor and pleasure of traveling with you and Charlie Shavers and Lester Young on one of the Jazz Philharmonic tours, and the wonderful times we had together, and the things that I learned from you on that particular tour, and especially the wonderful times that you, Lester, and I spent together. Again, happy birthday, and it's just a pleasure knowing you and being and having you as a part of my life. Thanks, Roy, for so much, and good luck. Blakey, your own boy. Want to wish you a very happy birthday and many more to come. Love you. Well, another day has happened for the weird wolf. This is the sepia Dracula. So happy birthday, you old rascal, you. And may you have many, many more. And, oh, by the way, be sure and send me my money. You know, just plain old money. Yeah, that's all. Happy birthday, sepia. This is the weird world.
Hi, this is Roy Haynes. Really wishing you a happy birthday, and you've been a big inspiration for me from the time I was a teenager when you used to leave Gene Cooper's band and come and sit in with me. I'll never forget it. Love you.
Hi, Roy. This is your old friend, Artie Shaw. I understand it's your 75th birthday, and since I'm 75 myself, may I welcome you to the club. I hope you have about 75 more. You're a great guy. You deserve all the accolades you can get, and I hope you get piles of them and that you live to a ripe old age, much older than 75. Hang in there, kids. It's the only crap game in town.
Happy birthday, Roy. 75 beautiful long years with all the beautiful music in the world that you've given us. This is Ruth Warwick, and or Phoebe Tyler, of all my children. I understand you watch the show, and that gives me a really big thrill to think that a consummate artist like you are likes to watch me and my show. Just is a great big boost. So thank you for all those gorgeous notes that have been coming out of your horn for all of these years, and may a lot of that happiness just come back and sweep over you like a huge crescendo on your 75th birthday. Love from Ruth Warwick and Phoebe Tyler.
Hey, Roy. This is Al Casey. And I was going to wish you a very, very happy birthday on your 75th. You got me by a couple of years, but I'll be there with you pretty soon. Have a happy.
Hello, this is Barney Kessel, and I want to wish you a very happy birthday, Roy. The thrill of my life was playing with you with Artie Shaw after having listened to you for many, many years and putting nickels in the Nickelodeon and kneeling down on the floor and listening to the way you played. There's nobody like you in the world. You never have to play another note. You have put it down on records. God bless you. You're an ace.
Hi, Roy. This is John Collins. How you doing, Wiz? I tell you, man, this is 75, huh? That's just beautiful. I sure wish I could be there with you. But, you know, I'm just glad we are both healthy. You know, so all the best, and I hope I can see you soon. So have good health and everything good. Bye.
Hey, Roy, this is your old pal, Dan Morgenstern. I wish you many happy returns, and bon petit latouille avec la mayonnaise on your monumental 75th. You're the greatest. You'll always be the greatest. And Ellie and Adam and Josh join me in wishing you the happiest birthday ever.
Well, Roy, you've outlived two of your most enthusiastic fans, the late Shorty Chirac and the late Bob Bach, so that leaves only about 10 million of us left. Happy, happy from Gene Bach.
This is Norman GRANZ. I first met Roy almost 50 years ago in the early 40s, and I not only became a very good friend of his, but I suppose equally importantly, I became possibly his #1 fan, because Roy represents to me the complete essence of jazz. He toured with Jazz at the Philharmonic for many years, went to Europe with me for many years, and today we're even tighter than ever. So on Roy's 75th birthday, I wish him another as many years as he likes to have. And he remains in good health.